for doing so. But I salute him for giving me the ability to tell it like it was. Literally to tell what happened to me in chronological order, and to voice my opinion about what happened and tell my truth. His audience supported me after that. I mean, we had tens of thousands of emails within a day of doing the first program. We were on his show 5 different times and presented new information and new material every time. I've since been in contact with him. I consider him to be a friend. I know that their Coast to Coast took a lot of heat from some of the clandestine agencies because of the nature of my information that I brought out on his shows. But he stood strong and defended me for the right to be able to tell my story. And I can only say thank you for somebody who is so strong in an arena where it's very difficult to know who to trust and also who to form an alliance with. I truly believe that Art Bell is one of the greatest advocates of freedom of speech and the truth there is. And I am sad that he's not on the air very often anymore. Now, I think his successor is also an advocate of the truth. George Norrie, who took over the Coast to Coast AM program. People have asked, why haven't I gone back on the program? Because I said everything I needed to say. I was invited to be on the program. I wasn't selling a book. The book wasn't available. So I wasn't promoting anything. I was simply telling what happened to me because I was given the opportunity. Robert Wraith and myself were given the opportunity to explain what was going on and the circumstances around it. I salute them, and I think Art Bell is a true friend.
Did you ever think that you would still be talking about this in 2009? That you reached somebody or a few pioneers or advocates of your story wanted to keep this going? Did you ever think that it would continue? Because it's my belief that the more if you continue to keep this in the public eye, the next generation is just going to hear the story and want to know more. They're going to want to continue this.
Well, how I look at it is maybe a little different than most. I've lived this. I've had to walk this trail through all of the brutality and the damage and the harassment. But I've also seen the positive side, the good-hearted nature of most people, the support that's been extended to me and to my team, and the willingness for people to accept you into their lives because they hear the truth in your heart. They hear you. They feel you. Did I ever expect to be talking about this in 2009? No. I expected to be dead in about 2001. Because at that time, I was being hunted like an animal by people who had guns and cars and were tracking me. I had left the country that was my home in order to keep friends and family away from me. Now, in respect to your question, did I think it was going to die down? I thought things would have changed by now. I thought that there would be more people within the scope of power, within the groups of ufology, who would have had more information similar to what I've gained over the last 10 years, that would be more willing to stand up with courage and voice their opinion. I know the reality and the scope of contactees. I know that there's thousands of us, not hundreds, thousands, all over the world. I know that some of them are vocal, but many, many of them are not, and for a good reason. And I'm a perfect example of why people shouldn't come forward, because you run the risk of losing literally your life. Am I glad that I'm still speaking about it, that people still want to understand more about it? Yes, because I think there's an education factor that we all can learn from each other if we don't put on the blinders and listen to the few who are screaming the loudest to look away. But unfortunately, a lot of people are sheep, and they are led away from the truth. I've said from the beginning that as long as people would give me the dignity and the opportunity to tell my story and to listen, I would be willing to tell them what had happened to me. And I've continued to do that. But on top of that, I've continued to support other people who haven't been as fortunate as I have, who have been injured emotionally and physically by disinformation campaigns and physical abuse. We've created different avenues to help these kind of people. And I'm proud of my team and all the people that work behind the scenes that nobody ever sees for what they've done to continue to push this truth forward, including all the people who have joined together on YouTube, including all the people who help to deal with all of the thousands and thousands of email that we get every week, including the people who have taken me into their homes and let me stay the night in their homes because they were afraid that something was going to happen to me or my teammates if we stayed somewhere else. From one end of the gamut to the other, there's been kindness, generosity, and support. And all I can say is thank you. And my feeling remains that we all have a right to tell our truth, to tell our story. No one should be denied the ability to tell their story. And so I'll continue to do it as long as people want to hear it.
Alright, let's conclude this. It's 1:55 a.m. the 17th of October. And we can probably continue up tomorrow. I just want to thank you for taking the time out to speak about your encounter and the ongoing
Thank you.
processes of your encounter.
It's amazing, the situation that has surrounded all these events and that continue to surround all these events. And in some respects, it's touched all of humanity. And there are events that are coming that will definitely touch all of humanity. Thank you.